This is the Lightning Thief Book Talk by Jennifer Albrecht. The book we are going to be discussing today is The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. Have you ever considered the gods and goddesses from Greek mythology to be real? Percy Jackson didn't until he became presented with some odd occurrences throughout his life. Percy is a 12-year-old boy, and throughout this novel he decides to tell us the story of his past year. On the first day of summer, just after his 6th grade year, Percy discovers that something is wrong with him. He learns that he is a half-blood, half-human, half-god. He is taken to Camp Half-Blood in New York City, a camp for kids just like him that is safe from monsters that like to attack half-bloods. At camp, Percy learns more information about himself, mainly being that he is a son of one of the most powerful gods, Poseidon. When Zeus's master bolt is stolen, Poseidon is blamed for the theft. Zeus tells Poseidon that the master bolt must be returned to Mount Olympus by the summer solstice, or else he will declare war upon Poseidon. Percy sets out on a quest to retrieve Zeus's master bolt, which is believed to be in Hades' captivity in the underworld. Helping Percy are Grover, his best friend, and Annabeth, a smart demigoddess and daughter of Athena. The three take a bus, a train, a truck, and a taxicab to make their way across America from New York to Los Angeles, where the gates of the underworld are located. They stop in St. Louis, Denver, and Las Vegas along the way. During their quest, they battle vicious monsters like Medusa. They find disaster on the observation deck of the Gateway Arch. They are tricked by the god of war, Ares. They nearly lose their memories in an enchanted Vegas casino, and they are almost stretched to death. Percy and his friends have 10 days to find and return Zeus's sword. Can they do it? Percy is trying to figure out his place in this world, and then he gets hit with this news that he is really half god. The less you knew, the fewer monsters you'd attract, Grover said. Like this should be perfectly obvious. We put mist over the human's eyes. We hoped you'd think the kindly one was a hallucination, but it was no good. You started to realize who you are. This book shares a lot of similar ideas as the Harry Potter novels. A young boy finds out he has powers that he did not even know existed. He then sets out to save the other realm. There are mentors and evil demons along the way he faces in the same way Harry does. If you found Harry to be your friend, you will definitely like to take this journey with Percy. This novel was written by Rick Riordan. Rick loved the Lord of the Rings sequels as he was a kid, and he's fascinated by Greek mythology. He's written 5 novels included within the series, and as of July 2010, he became a New York Times bestseller. Rick Riordan was a middle school teacher for 15 years. He says that his inspiration for writing this book was his 8-year-old son, whom was diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia. His son did not like school very much, but loved Greek mythology. He tried to get his son's interest by telling him different stories from Greek mythology. When he ran out of myths, his son asked him to make up a new one. Off the top of his head, he created this character of Percy Jackson. From there, the story The Lightning Thief was created. This novel is a great story for people of all ages to read. Not only is this novel a great book to read as a pastime, it also holds great material to be used within a classroom. This book could easily be integrated into a middle school or high school English classroom, alongside with some of the other great texts, including Beowulf and Homer's The Odyssey. As a pre-service teacher, I believe this is a great novel to incorporate into the curriculum. This novel is a more relevant story about an epic journey as well as an epic hero. This novel would be great for any middle school or high school classroom, as it is considered a young adult novel. I would include this novel in the Greek mythology unit, thus alongside with Homer's The Odyssey. This novel could also be used to supplement the text Beowulf, as it explores the same themes of the epic journey. This text presents a lot of the same ideas and themes of the Odyssey, but it is more relatable to the students given that it is about a young boy and his friends off on a quest instead of an older man trying to get home to his wife. Also, this text is set in America, which would help the students be able to relate and understand the setting as well as the time. I would have this novel be an individual read. I believe it is easy enough for the students to comprehend and make connections on their own while enjoying the text. I would then have in-class activities for the students to do in small groups to be able to share their ideas about the different characters and different occurrences within the story. An example of a lesson that could be used for this novel is to have the students think about the roles each of the gods play within the story. We are presented with a handful of gods in this novel, including Poseidon, Athena, Zeus, Ares, and Hades. The students can compare the roles of the gods to people in today's society. Consider these questions. Are all gods good? Are all heroes good? What characteristics makes a person a hero in today's society? These discussion questions could segue into an interesting discussion about epic heroes and their comparison to heroes to today. This lesson would push the students to analyze the text, as well as the characters, and make connections between reality and fiction. These discussion questions would also enable the students to use their past schema and compare it between different texts. This novel could be read as an introduction to one of the epic poems or as a post-read to them. I personally think I would read it after we read the Odyssey or Beowulf, so that the students can compare and contrast the characters as well as the journeys. If the Odyssey is read before this novel, the students will be familiar with Greek mythology and will be able to take their knowledge and apply it to this text. I think this text is a fun and relevant read, and it would help the students better understand the Greek gods, as well as this idea of an epic hero and an epic journey. Epic poems can be long and difficult for the students to understand. This novel will help the students make connections between the texts and further their comprehension on Greek mythology. In addition, many students are reading the Harry Potter novels today. This novel is very similar to those stories. By introducing the Harry Potter novels, you will engage the students within this text and capture their attention, making it a fun read for them. The students can use what they already know from those Harry Potter texts and bring new ideas to the table for this text. A movie also just came out about this book, which I think would be a great way to end the Greek mythology unit. Overall, this novel will help your students better comprehend Greek mythology and further their knowledge about the epic hero and epic journeys. Happy reading!